Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of She Coaches Coaches. I am really looking forward to this conversation. It is one of those things that oftentimes coaches, newer coaches, and especially coaches who are starting to get booked up, this is an area where sometimes we can really use some help. So let me introduce you to today's guest. Her name is Ashley Rose, and she is an automations and Airtable expert. She's helped hundreds of coaches move off of spreadsheets and into a streamlined and automated system. As a neurodivergent business owner, she knows the power of systems to scale your group program and business on part time hours without sacrificing client experience or burning out. Her 12-month system support container called Systems Over Stress helps online coaches build client management Airtable systems that reduce overwhelm, save hours of admin time and team cost, and improves their client experience as they scale. And for me, that's the thing that really caught me when I was, getting to know Ashley and what she brings to this episode is this: how do we take care of business and improve our client experience? Because it's the work that we do with our clients is the most important thing. So, Ashley, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So, tell me a little bit about how you got into systems. Like, why is your business systems?
Yes. So I have always been neurodivergent. I got diagnosed with ADHD in 2020, and that made a lot of sense with my life. I was always felt very messy and very scattered. And really, I had to rely on systems in my personal life and my business before maybe typically more neurotypical people could. Like I would never keep up a Money Monday spreadsheet where I would pop in every Monday and manually update things, like manual things that I had to be reminded to do just were always slipping through the cracks for me. And so I found my business is called Systems Over Stress. And I really believe that anytime that there was a stress point in my business, I could figure out a system, and specifically systems that rely on like automation and automating some of the admin stuff really like kept me in the game when I couldn't get out of bed, or I would forget to send follow-up emails after a sales call because my brain was already on to the next thing. And creating systems is really the thing that helped me survive when I first started my business. And then as I was growing and scaling, I realized those systems that I needed to just function were actually what I also needed to grow and scale. And so I took that like need that I had and was like, oh, this can help people at any level of business. So they were a necessity for me, and I got really good at them, and I got good at teaching them. And that's why I'm in this line of work.
And it also looks like you enjoy it too, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I wake up and dream. Like I wake up with Airtable automation ideas. And I love
not
I'm
everybody says that, right?
not everybody says that. But it's funny, my clients who are maybe they're new to systems, like they start to get the Airtable or automation bug because they realize all of these things that it only takes me a couple minutes to do. It's not that big of a deal. Like all of those little things, when you start to realize the mental load and capacity all of those little tasks take to just make sure that nobody's slipping through the cracks, that stuff takes a lot of energy from you. And so when you start to automate some certain things and get those off your plate, you're just like, what else can I free up? How else can I free up my time? And yeah, so I love it. People think that systems are like boring, and I think they're like the most fun, exciting thing in your business.
Well, and you know what's really interesting is, you said you're neurodivergent, and a ton of my clients are neurodivergent as well. And I know that that's a sign that, probably I am too, but undiagnosed, so we just don't know. But what I've noticed is that there's areas that folks really struggle with.
Mhm.
And then there's a handful of areas that it's like this is their zone of genius, right? And so that's one of the things is we always think about how it makes life challenging, and sometimes we forget that it's like this is where the genius is, and maybe it's a great sign that it says, listen, don't worry about all that other stuff, that's somebody else's game. This thing is your spot. What do you think about that, that this is like this is your place?
In terms like this, like systems are my
Yeah,
thing.
like just one of. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's more than one, but like one of, right?
I really believe, I mean, this also kind of goes into in the way I've been able to scale my business and the success that I've had is like I'm also thinking it was probably like a YouTube series called Ashley Stays in Her Lane, where it's like, I stay in my lane, like systems are my lane. Money coaching, I don't want to, I will bring in a money coach to teach my clients about that. And really finding the thing that you are uniquely good at has made me also been able to go deep instead of wide. And I think that's why I'm so good at what I do is because I don't know anything about ClickUp or Notion or a lot of the other tech tools. It's like I specialize in Airtable systems. And because I'm able to go so deep into that container, it makes me the best at what I do. And it makes me really innovative with that solution and with that tool. And so I think personally, it's been so exciting for me to have that creative container, but then also just in terms of business growth wise, I am known as the Airtable girl for coaches. So anytime anybody writes who knows of an Airtable expert on Threads, 50 people are tagging me, and that feels so good to be known in the industry for something that every day I'm excited about. I've been an Airtable expert for 5 years, and every day I like wake up more excited to like figure out other ways that can improve my clients' businesses.
Ah, I love that. Okay, so first, I love that you found your thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is this is almost like I have to do a voiceover if I could do that. Okay. All of you coaches out there who are struggling on choosing your niche, you guys are holding yourself back. Did you hear the joy in Ashley's voice when she said, I'm the Airtable expert? She took that one thing. She's got her YouTube series, Ashley Stays in Her Lane, and she's gone deep with it. She's an expert in that area. If you guys are struggling with your niche, what is the one thing that you can just go deep on that will bring you the same kind of joy that you're hearing in Ashley's voice? Like, if you saw her, like this will also be on YouTube, but if you saw how she lit up while she was talking about it, that's why I encourage you guys to niche because I want you to light up like that too. Sorry, that's enough of my voiceover time.
Of
Done.
course. Well, I think so many coaches, especially in the beginning, they think if the more you niche, the harder it is to find clients. And I found that to be completely the opposite. If I was just a systems person, be like, I don't know what box to put you in, and the tighter and tighter I got, the more and more clients came to my door. And it sounds counterintuitive to beginner coaches, but I that's truly what I found to be the case. I don't know if you see that in your work
I
as well.
love it. And you're not the only person that's ever said that. I say that too, but until we actually experience it, we don't really believe it. And so,
Hmm.
just for you to be that example for the listeners to go, oh, there's going to be one coach who hears you, and that's going to make all the difference in their
Sure.
world. And then who
Yeah.
knows, they might need some Airtable help too, right? So, let's talk about measurable metrics, basically,
Mhm.
metrics, okay? Now, there's lots of coaches out there who are confidence coaches, or they are weight loss coaches, or they are, find your purpose coaches. And all of those are amazing things. And it's really easy for them to get hung up in the how do I measure that? What do you say about that? How do you help people with that?
Yeah, so my big thing, once you know what that result is that you promise your clients, and so niching down and saying, like, I help people like 2x their confidence, or I help people become more confident, or whatever that is, that's the first step is knowing the result that you want to promise your clients. My work and a lot of the systems I build are really how to track and measure client results. So things like if you're a money coach, that's easy to measure. If you're a weight loss coach, easy to measure. Confidence, sometimes people think, how could I possibly measure something that is so inquantifiable? But I find that those are the offers that if you want to grow it and you want to have your launches get bigger and bigger each time, you really need to have results because it is hard to track, and you want to have a sales page that you have like a wall of I call it a wall of receipts. Like Candy got this result, like Candy got 2x your confidence whilst like remaining, I don't know, you can really have all of those case studies. And so figuring out how to track those things is the work that I do. And Airtable is a system that really helps you create the systems. But the biggest thing, anytime you are a coach, you have an onboarding form that you're tracking your client starting points. And then throughout your time with them, you're checking in with them through like form submissions or on your one-on-one calls and asking the same set of questions so you can make something that seems intangible like confidence, you can still measure it. So you can say on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel with your sales calls? And if they say a 2, 2 months into your program, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel with your sales calls? And now we can see our clients are increasing their confidence with sales calls. So it's pretty simple to track, but oftentimes people just forget, like, I can never measure my result because it's too vague or it's too custom per client. But there are always very specific, tangible ways that you can make an intangible thing very, very measurable.
Yeah, and what you've talked about as well is our perspective on it, right? Like your perspective is we need to measure. It's important to measure. It helps your business. It helps your clients.
Right.
It helps new clients come to you. So you knew that it was important. So it was how, not,
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't. It wasn't that closed door. It was that open question of what's the way that it could work, backed by the belief that there was a way,
Right.
right? And
And
that's huge.
a lot of my clients are charging thousands of dollars for a result. So if you're charging thousands of dollars for someone to be more confident, you better have some receipts to show that you do that. Like you like we want to prove that we get the results that we promise our clients when they pay us. And so to put somebody in a coaching container where you're promising confidence but not having a way to measure if they're actually achieving that result, it's not that you don't get that result necessarily, but you become a way better coach when you're measuring that and you're tracking that and you're seeing that data show like, yes, I do get my clients those results. So it does helps your confidence. It helps your confidence to sell the offer and deliver the offer. It helps your clients. Yeah, it just helps everybody when you really measure your results.
Yeah, and it also helps you fine tune your tools, right?
Right.
You know, as a coach, like especially with something like confidence or clarity, I have a weird result that happens when people work with me that I never measure, but it happens every single call. People get on a call with me, and within a couple of minutes, they feel calm, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's like I could say, "Come to me and you'll feel calm." Great. It's not what I'm selling,
Hmm.
but it's sometimes when you're in conversation with your clients, they're going to tell you the benefit. And that could be a signal to you that, oh, I could actually measure that. Like I
Right.
could create the calm index for all I know. How calm do you feel before the call? How calm do you feel after the call? And just show that change,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my clients have like this. I have a client, Maddie. She's a brand photographer coach, and she helps her clients book out brand photography while like not working on weekends. So there's kind of it's like a two, it's and loving your business or something like that. So she's asking, how much money did you make this month? And also, how much time did you spend in your business? What fun things did you do? So she can say, Ashley booked $50,000 in brand photography and didn't miss her kid's dance recital this weekend. Like that type of really rich result tracking that speaks to your ideal client. Like your client wants to achieve their business success and feel calm. So like let's track both of those things so you have this like incredibly rich data to show that you really can get many clients those results.
Mm. So you've got quite a few layers here, and what's really interesting is that like you're the Airtable expert, right? You're the systems Airtable expert, and yet what you're bringing to that is anything but the standard KPI or the standard SLA, right?
Yeah.
You're not like yes, metrics are the thing, but it's not actually what you're working with your clients on. The system is a tool. Tell
Mhm.
me a little bit more about that. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. It's like what I hear is that the how you work with people, the what you work with is the systems, but the how and the why is different than just systems.
Yeah, I really think that like systems, so like the systems over stress ethos is like systems are the way you get to a stress-free business. I really think like systems are the way that you get to incredible client results. Like you could be the best coach in the world, but you can't scale and you are like people are going to slip through the cracks if you don't have systems. So I'm like the bigger picture is not that you have a beautiful Google Drive that's super organized. My Canva is a mess. Don't ask me because I'm like, that doesn't matter. What matters is my clients are getting results. I can easily access those results. So I think about what is the biggest impact that you like, what is the biggest thing that a lot of coaches are missing? And it really is that client results tracking. And like, let's create a tool, a system to make it easy to have that incredible data. So it's totally, I'm not, or be organized for organization sake. It's really what do you need and what's the biggest like pain point that I see a lot of my clients have. And it just so happens that my systems and specifically Airtable is the best solution for that.
I love that. So when you start with a client and they come to you and they say, I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm not sure how I'm helping my clients and I really want my business to grow. Where do you get them to start? And of course, I'm asking this question so that the listeners can listen to this episode and they can make a start with
Mhm.
it. So where do you start?
Yeah, so where I always recommend people start is being clear on the result that you get or that you're promising. Also, a lot of the times I find beginner coaches are afraid to say, "I help you make a $10,000 month," because you're like, "What if not all of my clients get that?" But if you're tracking, you're going to do everything in your power to help your clients get that result. So that's the first thing is know what you're tracking. Then once you know the result you want to track, you really want to centralize your clients into one place where all of their client data lives, and that happens to be Airtable. A lot of our clients have spreadsheets, and spreadsheets, Google Forms, all of this really important client data is like living in silos in different parts of your Google Drive. So their onboarding form is in one Google form, their payment details are in another thing. Like it's just all over the place. And the best thing to do is just to have a database, a little central start that has every client's first name, last name, email, their start date and their end date, and just having that list of all of your clients and all of your client notes in one spot so you can have one place in your business and your brain where you can pop open and see here's the client's onboarding form, here's the last thing we spoke about on a call with them. A lot of clients are missing that piece. And that's the first step with Airtable. It's a database software. So it replaces your Google Forms, it replaces your Notes app, it replaces your paper notes that you're taking on somebody, and just having that one central source of truth where all of that lives. Then you can build fancy tracker forms. But honestly, that's the thing I see that people are missing the most is that they just don't have a central place where they can track all of their client data in one central spot.
Hmm. So tell me a story of a client who arrived and they were like, I don't know, a hot mess. And then they create, like, tell me this, like a story of the success of one of your clients.
Yeah. So I have a client, Jamie, who she has a company, she's a tax coach or a coach for tax professionals, and her program was doing very well. She had, I think she had maybe already had a six-figure launch at that point, but she had her checkout platform in Kajabi, her courses on Kajabi, and but she didn't know like how many clients are going into her course. If your coaches have courses, like it's like who, if it's a 12-month course, who is actually active, who needs to be offboarded. Like it just felt like people are in there and I think they're going through the curriculum, but I don't necessarily know how many people are and where they're supposed to be. And are they in the Facebook group? Are they not in the Facebook group? Should they be kicked out? Like she just didn't know. And she knew, like, I'm about to do another launch. I can't bring in another 100 clients with this ambiguity. Like, this is already customer service requests are coming in. How I don't know, can't pop open and see when their end date is, all of that. So before she opened her cart for the next launch, she didn't have Airtable at all. So there was no centralized database where everything lived. She was able to set up, we called a client hub. So she set up an Airtable base. She put in all of her hundreds of clients that already existed, and she set up automation. So when a new student comes in through Kajabi, they get automatically added to Airtable. So their start date and end date is in there with a little note that says, make sure to add them to the Facebook group. All of that stuff is centralized. And when she opened the door, she onboarded 300 clients in a 3-month span, and her admin time didn't increase with the 300 clients. And that's scaling. That's truly what scaling is like you can bring in more people and your admin time doesn't increase. And if she didn't have a centralized automated Airtable systems with all of these little admin things getting automated, she would have had to hire way more admin team members, more people would be like customer service requests would be coming through because they didn't get the thing that they were supposed to get, or like their contract didn't come through. And so there's just so many instances and stories like that of just being able to have your foundation ready for the success of your launch. Because we all want to launch, we all want to have a big launch, we all want to have an influx of clients. But if you don't have systems to support that, you're going to be more stressed out and you're going to be like, why did I scale? Why did I grow? And your clients are going to feel that tension. They're gonna be like, I wish it was like, I wish there was the intimacy of when it was smaller because you don't have these automated systems to take care of them. And so nobody's happy. The new clients aren't happy. The old clients wish it was smaller. You're stressed because there's more things to run. And when you have kind of automated systems, all of that's just pretty seamless and taken care of. So you can grow it at any rate that you're able to.
This is super interesting because I see this a lot with my clients. Primarily, my clients work privately with their clients, right? So client works one-on-one with their clients. And what happens is they get to a point where they're busy, you know, and then they can't understand why they stall out. They might
Mm.
think that they have another 5 spots in their private practice to add new clients, but they're not adding them. And so, what you talked about is a really great example of that. Because when we know that we can do something, but we're not doing it, we're resistant to it, it's because we think that the signing new clients is going to be a pain or the delivery is going to
Yep.
be a pain. And so in the example that, you shared with your client there, it would mean that she might pull back a little bit on a launch because she doesn't want to sell something and not deliver, and she doesn't want it to be crappy, and she doesn't want to have a bad client experience or to make her life worse
Right.
because of the added work. So when you have not just less stress but less resistance to that growth because you know that it's going to be handled, you're going to get out of that self-sabotage loop that so often happens, right?
I see that self-sabotage even subconsciously happens all the time where someone is afraid. You get a Stripe notification that you just made a sale and there's just like oh, now I have to deliver for that client. And my clients are like, yeah, you can be anywhere. I don't like the like light laptop lifestyle, but like truly you can be anywhere and be like, all right, their onboarding is taken care of. They are in the course. They've already submitted their onboarding. They're already filling out their client results tracker. Like they just have everything they need. You sell harder because you're like, this thing rules. Like my the support features are ready. We're here, are able to take care of you, and you sell harder, and you just also have the capacity to think of more marketing options. When you're
Right?
not focused on delivery and admin work, you can focus on how can I get more people into this because I trust that they're going to be taken care of while they're in this container and it's not going to burn me out to deliver it. You show up so much fuller and more excited about your offer when you know that the systems are going to take care of you and your clients on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. Like that's enough. Sorry. I don't know how else to say it. It's like that's the thing, right? So if you're a coach, you're trying to fill a group program or you're trying to launch your digital course or you're trying to fill your private practice and you know that everything apparently overtly seems like it's in place, but you're holding yourself back, what Ashley just described might be the thing that's really holding you back. Is that fear of not being able to deliver, the fear of growing your business but actually losing your freedom, and worrying that you're not going to take great care of your clients and that somehow it's going to muck up your life.
Mhm.
Those things are more important than anything. So, Ashley, last question before we wrap up.
Sure.
What is one thing you would love to share with the listeners? Something that you haven't said or needs to be expressed in a different way?
I think as I talked a lot about scaling, like, Jamie brought 300 people into a group program. The biggest thing I can say is that every single one of my clients wish they started this when they had one client. So you are not too small to set up these systems, especially when you're just starting as a coach. You want to be able to track. You like we all wish we were tracking our results from the beginning because you would have a very much better holistic view of your client results. So that's the biggest thing. Even if you have one client, setting up the systems that are going to take you from one client to 100 or even one client to 10, having those tracking systems is necessary for no matter where you're at because you want all of your clients to get results. And so that's my biggest thing is a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm just getting started. I can keep all my clients in my head. I know where they're all at. Like I don't need systems." And I just always want to express like this stuff is so necessary, even if you're just getting started, even if you just have one client.
Yeah, and so much easier to start it out when you're
Right.
early in the game as opposed to waiting until you feel like you're all over the place.
100%.
I love that. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Of
Really
course.
enjoyed the conversation. And it went in a direction that I would never have thought. I never put these things together that the system would support that entrepreneur so well in creating that business that they really, really want. So I really appreciate answering my questions and opening my eyes, and I'm sure opening the listeners' eyes as well to the value of systems and why they're so important and how it can really make your life better. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Ashley, there's going to be people who would love to find out more about you. How can they find out more about you and come into your world?
Yes. So I hang out the most on Instagram and Threads. I'm at Systems Over Stress on both. And I always have a free live training going on at some point. We have Airtable templates. We talked about how important these systems are, but on my YouTube channel, we get nerdy about like the behind the scenes of the systems and what Airtable looks like. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about yet, that's okay. Just get excited about like what it can do for your business. And yeah, following Instagram, Threads, YouTube, are all the great places to go. But I always say Instagram, just follow me there. And always shoot me a voice memo if you listen to this. Send me a DM, let me know that you listened, and I'd love to chat with you and nerd out about your client results that you're tracking or any Airtable questions. That's the best place to find me.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much.